Hello, and welcome back to The Film Library, a Kanopy podcast. I'm Kristy Puchko, entertainment editor at Mashable.
And I'm Jeff Rauseo, film lover, noir obsessive, and the guy who thinks life looks better in black and white with some fog rolling across the cobblestone.
This week, we're slipping into the shadows, lighting a cigarette under a flickering street lamp, and diving into the world of film noir.
From the rain-slicked streets to the smoky back rooms, from doomed detectives to desperate criminals, noir has always been about making impossible choices and paying the price.
And with Kanopy's deep library, we had more than enough to choose from.
Noir has so many shades, crime stories, psychological thrillers, even the occasional sci-fi twist that every cut felt like a crime of its own.
Whether you're into German expressionism, hard-boiled heists, or neo-noir reinventions, this Noirvember lineup shows how flexible and timeless the genre really is.
So grab your trench coat, order up at the bar, and settle in for a Noirvember lineup that proves the genre never really dies. It just waits in the shadows.
I really feel like I should have either had, like, I should have a prop where I could be like really bringing my film noir, femme fatale energy out. But before we jump into everything, I do want to ask you a question. If you could cast a modern actor, so let's say living, age your call, as a noir detective, who would you like to see?
So definitely living, age, he's timeless, so age does not matter. It is my man, Nicolas Cage, and I think I'm picking him, well, for two reasons. One, because I do think he would kill it, and I've seen him play detectives before. I would love to see him do a noir detective, and he would buy in. We could set this in the 50s, and he would be like, yes, I'm doing it.
I don't want to argue with you, because I agree that's a good choice, but are we not counting across the Spider-Verse?
That was my second reason for wanting him to do it.
Okay. So you're saying like full...
I want him live action noir because I've seen Spider Noir, and I'm like, he can do it. He nails it. And now this is just a voice work, so like, let's get a movie going. I don't want Spider Noir movie. Like, that's fine. I don't really care about that. Give me a really interesting noir with Nicolas Cage.
I want both. I will say I played Spider-Man 2, and
I'll take both.
Get the suit and you can play as Spider Noir. And it made me worse at the game because I was so distracted by how cool he is.
Okay, I'll take both.
Great. I love that. Yeah, I think for me, this is one of those things where I'm like, oh, I just want this person in everything. But like, I want to see Toni Collette. She's like wearing menswear. She's got the fitted waist and she's got that stare. Like, Toni Collette can do no wrong in my mind. And for all those reasons, I just want to see her do everything, generally.
Yeah, I'm down. She's one of my favorite actresses right now. So, absolutely.
Hollywood, call us. We have ideas.
Yeah, I think we just, 3 movies we just pitched?
Right?
There's a Spider-Man in there. There's a Nick Cage detective noir. There's a Toni Collette noir.
Right? Coming soon to Kanopy.
This is easy. I don't know why Hollywood thinks it's so hard.
Movies. So we're going to kick things off with me this week. I am picking a movie that is, I know people are going to be like, it's not technically noir, but it's like a good precursor that just felt like very important to Noirvember. I picked M from 1931. It's from Fritz Lang, the Austrian film director behind Metropolis. He is known as the master of darkness because he used German expressionism, he used shadows, and the black and white cinematography he created with these films that he like made iconic became a heavy influence on Hollywood filmmakers in the 40s and 50s as noir became its own very strong genre. And M, for those unaware, it's about a serial killer who focuses on children. So dark stuff, but fascinatingly, it's not like weapons. I'm just gonna keep bringing up weapons here, but it's like what's really incredible is this movie is very upsetting and very scary, even though like the indication that a child has died lies in symbolism. So it's like a child's ball rolling across an empty field, a balloon tangled in wires, like an abandoned balloon, and like you understand what that means, even though we're not seeing anything horrific. But it's just this, it's such an incredible film. It stars Peter Lorre, who would go on to be in a classic film noir, The Maltese Falcon. And yeah, he just has this incredible face that like, once you know who the killer is, part of you is like, that guy? Because it's like, it's just really dizzying, and it becomes this film about the police trying to catch him, and then like a mob gathering and trying to catch him, and it is like noir is kind of defined by cynicism, and this is such an interesting film because like even if you want him caught, that's not going to make the movie less upsetting. Uh, just truly, truly fantastic. And there's things in this that are so iconic. And it's like if you've never seen M, if you finally seen M, you're all of a sudden going to be like, you're going to hear like that popcorn sound in your brain and be like, oh, that's what all these things were referencing. And I rewatched it today because it had been a few years since I had seen it, and it's still just, man, like what Fritz Lang does with black and white cinematography is just incredible. He just has such a vision for it, and the way shadow plays as a threat. Like we talked a lot about this, not us specifically, but like when Nosferatu came out, people were referring back to German expressionism and the original Nosferatu. And the shadow play here would be very, very formative for like German expressionism is almost a direct line to neo-noir and some of the things that come across.
Yeah. And I do love that movie. I think it got recommended to me first from like horror movie people because they're like, I think the line somebody gave me once was like, well, it's like if the Universal Monsters guys made like a serial killer movie and mixed it with German expressionism. And I was like, okay, cool. That's a unique way of describing it, but sold. And
love that. That's a very good description.
Yeah, like it's that. I mean, it's the exact same. It's that time period of filmmaking, but man, it was ahead of its time. And Peter Lorre has a face you cannot forget. That's one of the most interesting looking guys ever on screen, and he's perfect in that movie. Highly recommend it too.
Yeah, this is early in his career, and it's like,
yeah.
Sometimes you just see someone's like early work, and you're like, oh, they're gonna be huge. Like they're gonna be a face that everybody remembers, and he is that guy.
He is that face for sure. Well, I have a classic noir to kick things off too. Mine's a little bit later. We're in 1953, so this is like smack dab in the middle of Noirville and in the hype. But this is The Hitch-Hiker with a dash. This is very important because there are 850 films named The Hitch-Hiker. You got to get The Hitch-Hiker with the dash in between hitch and hiker, and it's from 1953. And it's directed, this is the most interesting thing I think about it, is directed by Ida Lupino. She was one of the only female directors working in Hollywood at that time. And I think the only female filmmaker who had made a film noir at this time. I mean, this was not, it's the 50s in Hollywood. This was not a thing that happened a lot. So it's really great for the history of Hollywood that she made this film. There's an interesting backstory to it and, you know, what she's done. But this film is also super influential. Like I said, there's 800 movies that are about hitchhikers and the psychopathic escaped convict, you know, trope. This is like where a lot of that came from. And I like this one because it's so simple, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like easy to watch. It's 70 minutes long. It tells its story. It doesn't have any filler. And the whole thing pretty much takes place either in a car or in the desert because it's just these two guys. You got Roy and Gilbert. They're on an old fishing trip in Mexico, just having some fun, and they pick up a hitchhiker named Emmett Myers, who's played by William Tallman. And from that point on, it's basically a hostage situation on the road. Myers is forcing them at gunpoint to drive deeper into Mexico. The authorities are trying to chase him down because he is the psychopathic escaped convict. But it's just like super stripped down. Like it's all inside the car, but there's this just incredible tension and fear. And Tallman's performance as Myers is incredible. And he has this super unique, like lazy eye, which is really cool because you never know, like, is he kind of dozing off or is he still watching? Like they play to this in the movie. It's this really creepy detail, but it makes the characters feel even more trapped. Like you can't get away from this, you know, watching eye of this guy. But I think it's one of the better, I'm not like a massive classic film noir guy, but this one does it for me, and you can feel the influence. And that's one of the things I love when I go back and watch an older movie, like you said with M. Like that's, if I'm going to watch something, I want something that really inspired a lot of other things too. Because now when I watch newer things, I can see this. I see the influence it had I understand the origins of a lot of these things, these tropes that were not tropes when this started. Like there was always an origin point for all of this. But yeah, just two ordinary guys on a fishing trip, and suddenly they're going to fight for their lives on the road. And there's no like glamour romanticism of this. It's just kind of raw survival thriller, just over an hour. And it's purely just, wrong place, wrong time, and all the terror that comes with that. And it's kind of cool because it's not that traditional like detective story. It's a little bit different, kind of noir. It's not detectives in trench coats. Like this is a different approach. And Ida Lupino deserves way more credit than she probably gets for kind of blazing his trail as a director and really creating a lot of inspiring a ton of filmmakers with this movie. And honestly, I understand, what I always thought was interesting was a lot of people would say, oh, well, she handles the suspense so much better than her male counterparts. And I'm like, there's probably a reason for that, because she's probably been in situations that a male has not had to have been in, and probably is a little more afraid of hitchhikers than I might be. Like, I'm not going to pick up a hitchhiker either, but like, I understand, like it is a different world for women, and she brings that approach to the movie, and you kind of feel that. You feel that fear. It's real, it's palpable. And so I give her a ton of credit. I think it's one of the better noirs out there. It's definitely one for me as like the horror movie guy, like M,
Sure.
that kind of plays to that. So one of my favorites.
I love that. Yeah, my next film is also by female filmmakers. This is Bound from 1996. It is a neo-noir from Lana and Lily Wachowski. It's actually their directorial debut, which we've talked before sometimes when like someone just comes out the gate really strong with the directorial debut and you're like, wow. And like Bound is definitely that movie. It stars Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon, and it's a lesbian love story within a neo-noir world. So it's Chicago, but it's not like fun Chicago. It's gross Chicago. It's this Gershon plays Corky, who is a formerly incarcerated person who is now doing like plumbing work and kind of odd jobs in this building, when she meets Violet, played by Tilly, who like, it is just peak Jennifer Tilly. And it's like she's just wearing these teeny dresses and she's like super femme and super sexy, and they hit it off. But that's not ideal because Violet is a gangster's mall to Joey Pants, him from The Matrix. Clearly the Wachowskis love him. And in this, he's a money launderer for the mafia. So basically these women fall in love and they start being like, what if we rob the mob? Which, who hasn't had that moment in Pillow Talk?
We've all been there.
Right. And it's like, what's so cool is like, because it's a neo-noir, there's a part of you also, frankly, because it's a lesbian drama in the 90s, we weren't getting a lot of them. And when we did, they often were very tragic. So like, you might think what's going to happen. You might think that Jennifer Tilly's doing the femme fatale thing, because she definitely has those vibes where like she's giving Barbara Stanwyck a little bit. But the Wachowskis have their own like chart that they're following, and it is a movie I didn't see for years and years, because like when it first came out I was a literal child. It was not really in my grasp, and then I watched it later and was just like, oh, this is why everyone loves this movie. Like their connection is so good. It's such an exciting love story, and it does have all these gnarly noir elements where there's danger everywhere. But it's like recontextualizing them in a deeply 90s way that like I love a 90s movie. I love like the kind of trashy eroticism of this movie. I love the genuine sincerity of this movie. And this is a movie they're still talking about. Like I literally saw this week that Jennifer Tilly is still getting asked about this movie. She's talked about how her agents were like, don't do it. If you play gay, you're not going to book anymore. She talked to other actresses at the time who told her not to do it, that they were like, we're not even auditioning for that. We're not even letting our names go out for that, because it was just considered like, this is going to end careers because it was this lesbian drama. And instead, it is still one of the most talked about films in these people's lives. And it, launched the Wachowskis. Like, How are you going to argue these aren't incredible filmmakers? And it's so cool because we talked in another episode about Mel Brooks's first film. And this similarly, you see who they are, but within like this like indie lens where you don't have a lot of money, but you need to show people what you have to give. And Bound does that, man. Bound hits.
No, it does. And it is still being talked about because it has, I know, like last few months back, it's in the Criterion Collection now. A 4K, they did a whole remaster of it. And yeah, I mean, how can you deny what the Wachowskis have done? And obviously, if it launched their career, it's pretty influential, regardless of even what's in the movie. You launched the career of two of the biggest filmmakers in the world. So I actually have and this is an interesting segue because I did not know that Bound was in Chicago. Maybe I forgot, but I also have a neo-noir film debut from a famous director, which is also set in Chicago. So how about that?
Hey.
And the movie is Thief, which is early 80s, but this was Michael Mann's first theatrical feature back in 1981. And this movie still holds up so well today. You know Michael Mann. I like his film Manhunter. I think we've talked about that on here before. Such a great movie, but obviously Heat, Collateral, Michael Mann, huge name. But this was his original, and he's got James Caan in it playing this professional safecracker in Chicago. So this is very much like an urban crime thriller. And it's a little bit of the typical story. Like he wants out. He's got all, he's the best at his job. He's got all the skills, the tools, but he wants the family. He wants the house. He wants a shot at kind of living the straight life. And then, does it happen? Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but of course he's got to kind of make some deals to get what he wants to, that one last job, and makes a deal with the wrong people. Partners up with the crime boss who, tries to offer him some stability in his life, but ultimately kind of just tries to take it over. And the whole movie is really about kind of Frank realizing the life he wants is probably impossible in the world that he's chosen. And so what is he going to burn down his own life rather than let someone else control him? How's he going to get out of this because he's stuck? And there's that whole, like, this again has been played on many times, probably before Thief 2, but I like James Caan's approach to this. I mean, it's hard to say this might be his best performance because, like, the guy's in The Godfather and he's in Elf. So, like, who am I to say this is his best performance? But it's up there.
It's a banger.
It is. It's up there. People will probably argue The Godfather, but him alone leading this movie is pretty incredible. And it really is like, it's the blueprint for sort of a modern heist film, but it's also like the blueprint for what Michael Mann was going to be and what his career was. And you could see, kind of like we talked with Mel Brooks in an episode, like he had it from the start. He was like, this is me and this is the kind of movie I'm going to make. Also has a great score from Tangerine Dream, which is awesome. Very haunting kind of quality that'll stick with you. You'll probably remember the music, which Michael Mann's also become kind of known for, those collaborations. But the other cool thing is Willie Nelson's in this movie, which is a lot of fun. So if you like Willie Nelson, he gets to play in this. But yeah, it's a fun crime thriller heist. I would say it's a cornerstone of like American crime cinema. I mentioned a Criterion Collection. This is another one that's in the Criterion Collection on disc. If you think that adds extra to a film, there you go. It is in there as well as Bound. But, it just doesn't, I don't think it pops up as often as I'd like on lists of like the best crime films. And this one is very, very good. I think everyone needs to go watch it. It's definitely underseen compared to Michael Mann's other stuff. But if you like his other stuff, which a lot of us do, like check out Thief. It's well worth your time.
I love that. For my last pick, I went for something a little atypical in that I think it meets the themes of neo-noir. It talks about cynicism. It's you have a detective who is kind of hardened but hopeful and has to face some really tough truths. But it's not set in a city. I'm talking about Winter's Bone from 2010. and it was directed by Deborah Granick. People will probably remember it as the film that like launched Jennifer Lawrence. And if you're like, hang on a second, yeah, man, before the Hunger Games, it was Winter's Bone. Like Winter's Bone is why when they started casting Hunger Games, you had a ton of film critics who were like, it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence. Because in this film, not only did she get nominated for her first Academy Award, which she was like one of the youngest actresses at that point to be nominated for that. She was like 20. But in this, she plays a teen girl who lives with her family in the Ozarks of Missouri. And her mom's not in a good place. They're poor. She's helping take care of her siblings, and her dad goes missing. And it's a question of like, what does that mean? Like, did he run out on them? So she's trying to find her dad, and it becomes this like, oof, it's like backwoods story that is like very noir in the kind of characters you're meeting, but the, Ozarks version of them. So she's meeting these dangerous people, including this dude, played by John Hawkes, which like, I like knew John Hawkes from like Deadwood. Very different energy. And he's so good in this, and he's so scary. And like Dale Dickey, who was like on My Name is Earl, is in this, and again, very intense. Like this is Garrett Dillahunt also on like he's on like Raising Hope. Like you have people who have done, like, I know Deadwood's not a comedy, but on Deadwood, like his character was often kind of the comic relief because he was a much lighter character. So you have these character actors who are known for doing kind of like that, like they can do anything. They're just incredibly talented people. But here they get to just, it's such a textured and like upsetting movie that is just like really living in this space. And Deborah Granick like really got embedded. She got to know the people in this area so that she was representing a story that reflected that culture. And it's just so cool because it's like, I feel like you hear neo-noir in the Ozarks and it sounds like a little gimmicky, a little like, how would that work? But this is how it works, man. You have an impeccable cast. You have a very smart script by Deborah Granick and Anne Rossellini, which was based on the Winter's Bone book by Daniel Woodrell. But there's like, man, Jennifer Lawrence, again, we were talking about people who like, you see, this isn't her first film, but this was like her first big swing where she's like leading a movie, and it's just, she's phenomenal. And like that ending, man, without spoilers, I will just say like this movie's gonna end and you're gonna need a minute. Like just have some time for yourself afterwards. But truly just, I remember seeing this for the first time, and this came out kind of around when my career in this field started. And I just was so excited because I thought my job gets to be to talk about movies like this. Like that feels special. That feels exciting because I just hadn't seen anything quite like this before.
Yeah, the ending is my next pick is kind of simple. This is going to be a good transition because they both have endings that are going to sit with you. That one definitely will sit with you for a bit. But I went with a similar time period. Actually, what are these? Maybe a year apart. I think they're very close time-wise. 2006, 2007 in there. But I picked Gone Baby Gone for one reason. I like a Boston movie because I'm a Boston guy. But funny enough, this is another directorial debut of a guy you might have heard of named Ben Affleck, a little filmmaker out of Boston named Ben Affleck. And he based this on a Dennis, I think it's Lehane novel. He's written a ton of crime dramas. But this one is, I went into this, I saw it when it came out. So I was like 15. I was like, oh, cool. Boston crime movie. The Afflecks are in it. Casey Affleck's in it. Ben Affleck directs. Michelle Monaghan. You've got Morgan Freeman, Ed Harris, Amy Ryan. I was like, cool cast. Boston crime movie. This is going to be like awesome. And then as you get into it, it is awesome, but is also like pretty disturbing and pretty dark. Like they go there. And the whole thing is really, you get two private investigators, Casey Affleck and Michelle Monaghan. They're hired to find this missing 4-year-old girl in Boston. It's all set in Boston, named Amanda. And her mother, who's Amy Ryan plays, incredible performance, is, neglectful. She's caught up with addiction. And, the whole question is, does Amanda belong in that home? And as they start to kind of dig deeper, this is very Boston, but they uncover corruption and police cover-ups and a community
Only
where everyone's
Boston,
got
though.
secrets. It's true. I guess we all feel that way. But having grown up, I'm like, oh, no way. You investigated and you found corruption and police cover-ups and
What?
community secrets. That never happens. But Ed Harris,
I do agree with you. It's a beautifully like made Boston movie where it feels very specific.
it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not the only place it happens, but boy, it happened here a lot. And yeah, Ed Harris is the detective. Morgan Freeman's the police captain. They're kind of getting in the way. It builds towards this final choice that Patrick, the detective, Casey Affleck's character, has to make. And I don't want to tell you which choice he makes, but it's, do I return Amanda to her unfit mother, or do I let her stay in a safer environment, even if it means that it's technically breaking the law? And it's like this really Sophie's Choice type moral decision of like, what am I going to do? And when you see the ending, that's why it's going to stick with you. It's going to make you question if you did the right thing. And everyone's going to have an opinion on what the right thing was. It's a tough one. There are some very tough scenes in this, like viewer discretion. But as a Boston guy, I see a lot of Boston movies that I go, that was not it. That was somebody else's idea. And Ben Affleck, I think, really nails it. And he does in a lot of his Boston movies, just like the neighborhoods, the people, the way the cops and the locals interact. Like, it felt like Boston. It felt real, and it was gritty, and it is just this modern neo-noir crime drama that, I think I would say it's probably Ben Affleck's best film, which is like, didn't Argo win Best Picture, but I still don't think that's a better movie than Gone Baby Gone. So throw the awards out of the way. I like Gone Baby Gone better. It's well worth your time. It's all about the impossible choices people have to make, doing the right thing, how it can ruin you. It's Amy Ryan did get an Oscar. Speaking of Oscars, was nominated. She's going to make you furious, but like also feel bad at the very same time. Yeah. Like, absolutely incredible. It's a lot bigger. It's a crime drama, but it's way bigger than just like the mystery of it all. It's this real big community movie. Like, how is everyone in this community affecting what's happening right now? It's one of those types of movies where everybody kind of plays a little part in the ultimate ending, and every little character has that moment that leads to this resolution. And man, it is tough though. I bring one really brutal movie every episode, as everybody knows. This is the one for this episode because it's brutal, but it's really good.
I really do love this movie. I remember seeing it in theaters, and at the end, I came out with my partner, and I was like, "You need to tell me what you would have done at that ending. I need to know what your answer is," because it was like, I was like, we're not been taking another step in this day or this relationship without making sure we would have made that same call. And it's like we like this movie so much that then we both read all of Dennis Lehane's books about these two characters, and like I kept waiting for them to make more movies from it because like there's several books. We could see more. But yeah, I agree. I think this is a really outstanding. I mean, it's an outstanding cast, but I think it's a very good reflection of like the noir concept and really puts you into the whole city. And like, man, Amy Ryan, it's been wild to then just go watch her and do comedies and stuff. She's another actor that you're just like, oh, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, she became like a love interest on The Office after this. Which was like,
yes. Yeah,
I'm not a big The Office person, but I think that's right.
Yeah, she was actually, I think she's Michael Scott's. That's why he leaves. That's why he goes with her, I think, if I'm remembering right. But she is his love interest, and there's a whole little love triangle thing for a while.
She's great on that, but when she first
she's
started
super
off on that
goofy.
show, I was like, I know she could do comedy, but I'm still like, Gone Baby Gone lives in my brain. So that was very much like, oh, I know what you're capable of. She's had other roles recently that I'm like, see, that's the Amy Ryan that like I know, which is the one that's very smart, but also I'm a little afraid of her. On that note, I think that might be a wrap on our Noirvember spotlight. We hope now that your watch list is full of shadows and sharp angles and stories that linger. And
we'll drop all of our picks in the show notes and over on Kanopy's Letterboxd HQ account. If If you want to stream any of these dark and dazzling films, just head to Kanopy.com. Totally free with your library card or university login.
And be sure to subscribe to the Film Library so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you like this one, leave a review, or better yet, tell us your favorite noir character, detective, femme fatale, or someone caught in the middle.
Yeah, was it a grizzled antihero or a tragic figure who couldn't escape fate, or maybe a criminal mastermind who thought they had it all figured out? Drop your pick in the comments or tag us on social.
You can find me on Instagram at the Kristy Puchko, but I'm also on Blue Sky and Letterboxd. You can just search for my name, Kristy Puchko, KristyPuchko.
And I'm Jeff Rauseo on Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, just the internet in general. You can search my name. It's JeffRauseo.
And with that, we've reached the end of season 2 of the Film Library. So thank you for joining us this season. And we hope that you've discovered a new favorite film or revisited a forgotten classic, or, just enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, no, we appreciate the support. And if you'd like, you can review the entire season on YouTube. You can go over to Kanopy's Letterboxd or wherever you get your podcast. You can binge listen to all of our episodes, and definitely make sure to leave us a review and subscribe. So thanks for listening. And remember, in the end, everybody's guilty of something.